don't know how long she will stay. Hello, Gavin. Hello, Snooks. Sorry, I was getting my other device from inside. She just landed. She's been flying all over the place for 2 hours. She very rarely perches these days. I checked my resolution before to go live, and it was perfect, and now it's blurry. So I'm guessing it's a streaming. My phone is set on high resolution to what I expected. So anyhow, we're watching Eaglet Zoo, 18th of November. She's still lingering around. She hasn't yet migrated. She was born on April 18th, fledged on July 4th. She didn't fledge far. She fledged away from the nest, as the nest was visited by a lot of snakes. Oh, I'm watching the deer. Deer just arrived on my back patio. The golden eagle's nest is on the rock face, which is east, and on a private property. Everything I film is on private property. If it's not, I will say I'm on my way to this canyon, whatever, and then film it. But my backyard is huge, 120 acres. I know it could be bigger. And it's not my, as in my. I just work here and take care of this property, which is filled with beauty. Foothills all the way around, no bad view, and wildlife. So I just share my blessing as I see it, and when I can, meaning I'm not playing with a power tool or out of property doing appointments for the boss. Hi, Maricel Harbord. I hope I didn't destroy your name. I need to go on all messages. And I just thought, for the record, since this eaglet has been here the longest, I would come back live. And some of my regular followers have followed Eaglet since day one, since we saw its little white bubble head in the nest. And every year we follow golden eagles, assuming the eggs hatch. And if the eggs hatch, then every day I try to come on and we can see them growing. They grow rather fast. And we watch Mama and Papa feeding them, as we do yearly. This year the parents are a different pair. I have watched the same pair for approximately 10 years. And last year, excuse my French, some idiots disrupted them. So they left, but a new pair came in and built a nest in 2 months, mated, and had eggs. So usually from January to February, they will be mating, which I film, I try to catch, I did last year. And then they incubate, and we're on the incubation watch, where they shift change on the nest, take it at turns, and then we start the count after so many days of incubation and watch for the hatch. And then we watch for the fledge. And then we watch for the migration, meaning one day they're here, one day they're not. Yeah, Snooks, I did my focusing before to go live, and now I am convinced that it's YouTube photo camera, whatever you want to call it, app, because I had a clear picture. I actually filmed a short before to come on live. And it seems that if I don't have a certain amount of light, that app is very basic. And I think because I'm not monetized, you know, and a premium member, I don't have the money to give them every month. Maybe I get the poor quality streaming. I don't know. If I pay the membership, I can't support my other channels. And right now I'm trying to save because I want to go on vacation next year. A long vacation, given I haven't been off or on vacation for 11 years. So I'm saving as much as I can. Because nothing like a vacation with no money. And I'd rather support my channels that I enjoy than being a premium member. We all have different likes in life, and that's mine. Which reminds me, don't forget to check on my main channel page. I've got actually a shout out. I always forget. I actually have a shout out list with a few channels mentioned. I haven't updated it in months, I think. But I've got a shout out list of channels. They're the channels I enjoy. But you might not. That's your prerogative. We are born with different likings and taste. Freedom of choice. How nice. Hello, Nenis Yair. I'm sorry if I butcher your names. And I'm getting these strange things on my screen. It must be a YouTube new thing. I went to fetch some coffee. I just saw the end of it. It asked a strange question. And since I don't know what the icons mean, and last time I touched those icons, I lost my stream, so I'm not touching nothing. I don't know what to think about the AI monitoring the chats. I mean, it's good, but whatever. Last night I had a viewer, subscriber, who was talking of his dog and didn't in every sentence say my dog. So I think AI thought it was talking of humans and started to block the chat and then the stream. I wish they would know that humans, when they say my dog Lacey, doesn't feel the need to repeat my dog because we keep on the same conversation. guess they need to educate AI a bit more to follow human conversations. And my comments were getting kind of blocked until I wrote raccoon mama, not just the word mama, raccoon mama. This is getting kind of interesting. I understand the chat should be clean, maybe. Maybe, depends what kind of channel you have, I guess. But when you have to repeat the same thing in every comment, we all know what we're talking about once we say, my dog lazy. No, apparently we've got to repeat it. In every comment, we restart. Yes, French born. I am now naturalized American. I have been in America for 26 years. On January 14th, 2026. And I naturalized on January 14th, January 14th, 2011, I think. I can't remember now. Yeah, I took my sweet time before to decide. I don't like to make a decision on the whim. No, it's not, Buster. As I found out, I used to let it go wild. For some reason, I'm just a wildlife channel, and my chat gets heavily monitored. The spam, the everything. And these days, you can just lose a channel without strikes or warnings just because they decided to. They did it by mistake to me last August. So now, and you can't appeal with a human, so now I'm sharing wildlife with a lot of my subscribers. Have contacted me privately. The elderly, they're stuck in homes because they've got some health problems and can't travel to nature. So I'm sharing my blessings with people who actually want to see wildlife. I don't make money out of it. I don't pretend I'm in my backyard when I'm not. I am at work. That's where I work and live. Middle of nowhere, I'm not monetized by choice, and I don't feel the need to compete and keep up with the Joes and copy and whatever to get my numbers up and get money. I just do it for the fun, relaxation, and I can meet new people online, on chat. That's plenty enough. And I don't use AI filters and desk filters and audio correction. I noticed my videos look different for a few weeks from my phone. And it took me a while to figure it out because I'm not highly tech these days. And some settings in my studio were on, which I never turned on. Something about let YouTube filter your videos, whatever. So I turned all of that off. It might not look as nice, but it's raw, it's authentic, and it shows that I really filmed with the phone and the scope. and I don't censor, but if YouTube will highlight a comment saying it's inappropriate, I'll just remove it to not deal with whatever one has to deal with. So right now, Eaglet is facing, well, she's on the rock face, which is east, but her back is facing south, and that's where the sun, also it's covered by a few clouds, is, and eagles will place their back facing the sun for their feathers to soak in the sun rays, and that's how they regulate the thermal process system with the feathers. That's how they're able to keep warm in sub-zero temperatures, That's why you will see them perching a lot, doing a lot of nothing. They're busy actually soaking in sun rays to regulate the thermal. So for the new viewers who came in and went, we're watching an eaglet, golden eagle, who will be 7 months old on November 18th. Should have migrated, but seems to be sticking around. It likes it over here. It's not going anywhere yet. Which I'm not complaining. I love eaglet. Keeps me entertained for my morning coffee. And there is a wildlife state park next door. And I'm guessing people have dogs that are barking at wildlife. and I film on my own property. Also, I've got a state wildlife park next door and could go there and get even more of it. But it's through the wire fence and say it's part of the backyard, which it's not. It might be calling for Mama and Papa. Hey, Shannon Mitchell. So we're looking at east of the property. I was actually thinking of going to the river with my gators, cross the river, because the brush is now dormant, meaning I won't meet a bear. And it's warmish, which means I won't meet a mountain lion. But then I spotted Eaglet while having my coffee on the patio with the squirrels. So just took my phone, my scope out, and went, okay, I'll film right here. And I film a mile away, because that's the best way to view Eaglet, as when you're at the river, depending where it is on the rock face, you can't always see it from the river, because it is obviously uneven and curved. When you film from the patio a mile away from that property side, the rock face looks flat, so you can get everything. Hi, Mike. How are you? Nice song you put out. I like it. There's a song called Relapse. I think it's called Relapse. And Eaglet doesn't perch much any longer. Well, it does, just where I can't see it. It's often on the other side of that rock face, full of tumbleweed brush, wild, hunting whatever it is hunting. The river is still running, very low, but running, so it still can get fish from there. But it's been traveling a lot to other reservoirs, which are a few miles away. So I thought I'd come on and film it while it's perched, because it's getting difficult to follow it. It's flying a lot faster, and all I've got is a phone on the scope, so I can't do proper filming. And I won't use filters or AI after the fact, so I'm kind of limited on what I do. Oh, raking leaves. Try to make, well, it depends where you are really and how your property is designed. Leaves, a lot of bumble queens, leaves in leaf for the winter, and insects like ladybugs. So when we move them, we actually kill insects. I know, but we humans want to keep everything tidy. I know. And it's the same at work. the boss wants the leaves away from the patio, so we have to disrupt the insects which are hibernating and make piles in the places which are out of view. And hopefully we didn't kill anything. But a lot of insects that in the winter hibernates in the fallen leaves. I have yet to see I forgot the name. The little crawling, spiky insect, brown and black, and you look at it, and depending on its bends, it will tell you what to expect weather-wise, and it's pretty accurate. When you get a lot of snow, it will have more black, I think, than brown, and depending on how the bends are, you can determine if you will have the snow in the spring. I can see the insect, I just can't remember the name. Caterpillar. Hey, Matt. Nice fishing trip you had yesterday? Hope you got a lot of fish. That's the purpose, Matt, enjoying yourself. There you go, I remember the name caterpillar. But so far here, it has been pretty accurate, where we could determine looking at a caterpillar. And one year I actually filmed it. if it was going to hit us in the spring like last year, determined we would get no snow. We got one thin powder and that's it over here. Was correct. The year before determined we would get huge blizzards in the spring and then, oh my God, well, actually a few years ago. Did we get hit? We were buried under snow. Yesterday, Eaglet stayed only 20 minutes. We are at 32 minutes, so that's good. Hey, the Watush. It's a golden eagle, an eaglet, 7 months old on November 18th. It was born on April 18th. Born on April 18th, fledged on July 4th. And should have migrated like a month ago, and it's still around. It's not perching a lot. I was able to film it daily for us to follow its progress. And the last month or so, it has been difficult because it's not staying still, flying a lot and fast where I can't follow it with a phone on the scope. So yesterday and today I was lucky enough where it perched and I could film it. Yes, I gave it a name, Zoo. Z-O-O. To a subscriber who was a very avid, regular subscriber. And due to health, she stopped going online. But she loved watching birds. Birds were favorite out of all wildlife. And she loved eagles, like last spring and the spring before when I was filming the eaglets, she really enjoyed it. So it made sense to call Eaglet Zoo. And since we don't know for sure if it's a female or a male, zoo is kind of neutral, which pleases everyone. Hi, Lucas. And everything is streamed on a private property, 120 acres. I do not own that property, or I would have a proper camera and equipment. I'm just the worker, the manager of this property. And when I'm not busy working, I actually film and share my blessings. Yep, I get to work in a little paradise on earth, little piece of heaven on earth, where I see a lot of wildlife, golden eagles, bald eagles, hawks, owls. Like last night on my stream, we didn't have much wildlife due to predators around, they were hiding. But for an hour, we heard a pair of owls not far from the phone, talking to each other, hooting away, greyhound owls. And then the raccoons showed up. Look at those claws. Look at those claws, and it's only 7 months old. Film coyotes, mule deer, white-tailed deer, raccoon, skunk, the odd mountain lion in the winter, which comes back down here from the elevation, black bears when they show up, a lot of different birds as they migrate. Hi, Linda. And it's going to poop and more than likely take off. And if I can follow it in the sky, I will, but I might lose it. We all know that. And the white band you see on its tail is an indication it's a juvenile golden eagle. That's a marking up to, I think, 4 years old to 7 years old. And that eaglet is as big as its mama. Its papa, eagle papa, I need to specify, is a bit smaller, so that would indicate it's a female eaglet, as female eagles are bigger, larger than males, most of the time. I film snakes, but I don't care too much for snakes, so I'll film them once in a while, but snakes and mountain lions are the two animals, let's say, that I don't feel comfortable hanging around. The bears, until they don't have any cubs and you carry your bear bell, they're not aggressive. What else? Once in a while I might catch a bobcat or a lynx. And the foxes have disappeared. There was a bad disease that took care of the foxes in the state, Colorado, so I don't see many of them over here. And then I'll film the moon on a full moon night if the sky is clear. With my scope, I don't have a telescope. And as I said, everything is actually filmed on a private property. That rock face belongs to the property. And if I'm on a trip to the mountains or whatever, then I'll write where I am. I will not, film through a fence or whatever and say, oh, that's a part of a property I never showed you. It's part of the backyard. And sometimes I go to the ponds, but the ponds have a drop zone for the signal, and every time I go there, I lose signal. It's like so strange. Which is a pity because a lot of the raptors hangs out at the ponds for the reason that in the winter, the geese is gathered at the ponds. Mountain lion will drink from the pond, so is the deer, the coyotes. Everybody goes to the ponds for water. The river is getting low and will freeze during the winter. And the ponds will eventually evaporate. But usually we still have, a bit for wildlife to get water. I think she might be seeing Mama in the distance. Hey, Jory, love food reviews. Welcome. We're watching a golden eagle that was born on April 18th. Will turn 7 months old on November 18th. Fledged on July 4th. Named it Zoo. And every year, I follow the golden eagles. I follow other animals, but golden eagles. as the nest is on the property. I'll start filming them mating, working on the nest, incubate